guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Karen and welcome to our Irish family. Today I want to share with you the results of my Irish grocery challenge. So 11 weeks ago I started a grocery challenge. Basically every week I was doing my shopping in an Irish grocery store called Dunnes Stores, and I was paying 90 euros every single week. And I was just kind of thinking to myself, is there another shop out there that I can get the same quality produce for cheaper? And that is what I went and done. That is what I went to see if I could find. So for 10 weeks I did my shopping 4 different stores, and then I went back to Dunnes Stores at the very end of the challenge, which you can see. So if you want to see all of those grocery hauls, there's Tesco's, LIDL, Supervalu, ALDI and Dunnes Stores. I will have a just link in the description for you, which will bring you to the playlist of that 10 weeks. But in this video I want to share with you my findings, as I'm calling them. And I wrote down my notes. I wrote down how much everything cost, what the pros and cons of each shop were, and at the very end I wrote kind of from 4 categories my top 3. And it's kind of interesting to find what I thought and what and how it's going to work out. And going forward I'm going to share with you what store that we're going to be doing our grocery shopping at, excuse me. So just to jump straight into it, the first 2 weeks we did our shopping at Tesco's. Week 1 our groceries cost €82.12, and week 2 the groceries cost €78.22. And as I said, if you want to see those grocery hauls, I'll have a link in the description and it will bring you to those grocery hauls. So with Tesco's, the good points were everything is under one roof. So what I mean by that is that they have a great value of own value products and also branded products, and I can get everything I need in one store. I don't need to, some of the stores don't have goat's milk, so I'd have to go to a different store to buy goat's milk. But Tesco, because it is one of the largest supermarkets in Ireland, it has everything under one roof. As I said, good value, own branded, and also has a great range of branded products too. And then the very first Tesco store I went to had a shop and scan function, and that basically means that you have your bags and you scan each product and pack it away into your bag, and that is such a great function. I really enjoyed that. Obviously Tesco have home delivery, and they also have like a click and collect system too, so these things are definitely positives for Tesco's. The negatives for me were that the majority of the fresh produce there had plastic. It is a step that I want to take, that I want to reduce the amount of plastic that we're bringing into our home. And Tesco's, the majority of their produce comes wrapped in plastic, from what I've seen anyways. And then the second thing that I noted was that sometimes the staff come across as a little bit rude. I don't know whether it's just me, but I kind of noticed that in both of the stores they were a little bit unhelpful. They they gave off the vibe that I didn't want to be there, which is understandable. Working in retail is not most people's ideal job. Obviously some people love working in retail, but sometimes, you know, the general public is quite rude. I worked in retail for 5 years. I know what these people are going through. In both of their stores I kind of found that they have like a home delivery or click and collect system, and they're going around packing the orders, and they just kind of push in front of you or leave their little trolley things hanging around. So those were the good and the bad points of Tesco's. So overall it was an okay store. It had every product that I wanted. The quality of the food was pretty good. There wasn't anything that I thought, geez, that's horrible. So overall I'd give it out of 5. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah, 3 out of 5 from me. So the next 2 weeks, the second 2 weeks, we went to Supervalu. So week 3 we spent 62.07 and week 4 is 86.52. And again, if you want to see those 2 hauls from Supervalu, I will have a playlist linked in the description that will bring you to my grocery hauls from all of the weeks. So I have to say that I really enjoyed shopping in Supervalu. My opinion of Supervalu before we went there is that it is extremely expensive, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. Their own branded products, that range is ever expanding, so it is possible to get cheaper products. But a negative on that is that I found that the branded products, like let's say Kellogg's or Coca-Cola or those like the big brand products, they're slightly more expensive than other stores is what I found. That's my experience of it. But the majority of things are priced the same as Dunnes Stores or Tesco's. So Supervalu for me was a pleasant surprise. The butchers there is really nice, and they're very helpful as well. I purchased a couple of things from the butchers and I found them very helpful. It's a small store, which is really great. So, and there's never really that many people there, because I think, like me, a lot of people assume that it's very expensive and that they can't do their big shopping there, which in fact, from the pricings that I have, you can do it there because it's actually pretty on par with Tesco's. So the staff are really helpful. One of the days I walked in and I needed change for a trolley, but the girl just came out and got me a trolley, so I didn't have to put in any coin or anything like that. And if you ask them for a product or ask about a product, that they basically go in and check, or they know that it's not there, and they just seem like they want to help you. And then it has a good mix of loose produce, and then they also have the plastic produce too. But I did see more available that didn't have plastic on it, which is a great point for it. And then, as I said, the negative of it is that some of the name brands are quite expensive. So yeah, I don't really have very many negative things to say about Supervalu. I really enjoyed my shopping experience there. So for me, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. As I said, I really like shopping there. So for the third shop that I went to was LIDL. So for week 5 we spent 55.52, and week 6 we spent 66.80. So LIDL is a German owned, pretty sure it's a German store. One of the negative things about it is that it has that quick checkout process. Now it is a little bit more lax than say Aldi. So I have the big shopping bags, the reusable ones. I just have them out ready and waiting, and I just kind of put the stuff in as they're doing it, so I can pack quite quickly. So I never really had an issue in Aldi where I had to move to the side, because sometimes you see that with people, that they're just shoving the stuff back in their trolleys, moving to the side and putting them in the bags, because we have reusable bags here. So that is kind of one thing that is a negative. And the second negative I have about that store is that I get sidetracked easily. So I can pick up some of their special buys, such as workwear or children's clothes or children's books, or like a lamp or a lawnmower. Like all of these things are in the middle aisles, and they're easily, I can pick up, I can get distracted by it and just kind of end up spending a whole lot more in my groceries than I wanted to, when really I'm not buying groceries. I'm buying something like a potted plant and a console saw thing. You know. And then the other thing that came to me was that not all of the products that I want to buy, such as goat's milk, is available in that store, so I would have to go to a different store if I wanted to purchase goat's milk, which is, if you know me and you know Ava only drinks goat's milk, so we would have to go to a different store for that. But on the good points is that their range of products tastes good. We got, basically it's mostly all of their products, and there is some obviously branded products there as well, but we've never had any issues with the range or their own branded products. I never thought anything tasted disgusting or anything, and they have a good range of things. So everything that I want, besides from, as I said, the 1 or 2 items were there when I needed them to be there. They have a great variety of loose produce. So their fruit and veg, they have a lot of it loose, so I can just pick, if I only want 4 apples, I could pick 4 apples. And then obviously they do have the plastic wrapped items too. So they're definitely the leader of the 5 stores that I went to with reducing the amount of plastic on their fruit and vegetables. And then for me, it's actually the closest store to me. It's literally 400 or 500 yards away, or meters away from me. So Tesco's would be the first. Tesco's is within a mile. Supervalu is the second closest to me, and then LIDL is the closest to me. So overall for LIDL, I would give it a 4 out of 5. Just the fact that they don't have everything that I need, and I'd need to go to a different store to pick it up, is kind of an issue. And then with we did find that their whole chickens are a bit hard. Just like when I cooked them, I just found it a little bit like hard, the breast part of it. So that was really the kind of only negative on the food quality side of stuff. So the 4th store I went to was ALDI. So ALDI is, I clocked it, it's 6 miles away from me, so it's not in my town. So it's a 12-mile round trip, so it's the longest one I'd have to go to, and I'd have to include petrol costs in that. I don't know the petrol costs, I didn't write those down, but if I was going there, and if I do choose that store, it's something that I would have to consider, because as I said, it is the furthest away from me. So for week 7 in ALDI, we spent 56.31, and week 8 was 55.30. So it's definitely the cheapest of all of our shoppings. So that is definitely the most positive point of it, is that ALDI was and is the cheapest of all of them, all of the stores that we went to. But I did find an awful lot of negatives, which I know people probably may not agree, but this is just my opinion and stuff that I found inconvenient about the store. So the first thing is that it's further away. It isn't in my town. I have to travel 6.5 miles to get to the store, and the same back, which isn't very far, I am aware. But if there's a shop just literally around the corner from me, I'm probably going to choose that over the store that I have to travel 6 miles to. It opens at 9 a.m. Like, that is really inconvenient. I like to go just after 8 or 7:30. So I arrived there the very first morning at 7:30, and I had to wait around for half an hour for it to open. So I find that the 9 a.m. opening time is just a little bit inconvenient for me. However, if you work there, it's probably great, because you don't have to go in at 7:30 in the morning. Again, the same with LIDL. I get very sidetracked by the special buys. In fact, I get more sidetracked by the special buys in ALDI, because I find that their special buys are a little bit better in ALDI. So I'd just be walking around, and I'd just be looking at all the stuff, picking it up. Like the 2 times that I went there, each week I came home with stuff that wasn't grocery related, because I'm just sucked in by those 2 middle aisles. So that's not a good point. And I didn't find very much produce that didn't have plastic on it. I'm trying to remember, and I think it was literally only the big things like pineapples, watermelons, those sorts of things that wouldn't usually have plastic wrap on it, that didn't have the plastic wrap. Everything else came plastic wrapped, like the apples, the pears, the oranges, all those things came plastic wrapped. So that's a negative for me. And then in ALDI, you need to be supersonic quick to pack your groceries away, because they do not give you any leeway at all. You basically have to shove stuff in your trolley, move to the side, and pack it into your bags. And I don't like to do that, because it's kind of, I feel like it's just a waste of my time. So I feel really pressured when you're when you're in the queue in Aldi. The minute you put stuff on the conveyor belt that goes up, I would just instantly feel like tense, because I'm like, I won't be able to get the things in my thing, and like, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel really tense. So Aldi is definitely the worst when it comes to checking out. So yeah, as you can see, there was an awful lot of negatives there. We also found that a couple of the products I just didn't like, and they tasted weird to me, and then I had to change it then the second week, and then they didn't taste as good as some of the other stuff that we had bought. We had a real problem with their whole chickens as well. They were really tough. Yeah, so, and this is again just my opinion. I know there's so many people out there who love to shop at Aldi, and that's fine, but I really just don't think it's the place for me to do my shopping. So obviously the biggest thing that they have going for them is that they're value. They're really good value. So for me, I would give Aldi like a 2.5 out of 5. So yeah. So then finally, the final 2 weeks we came back around in a circle to Dunnes Stores. So this is where it started, and this is where it ended. So for Dunnes Stores, the first week we spent, so the total cost of my Dunnes Stores have the vouchers. Let's just start there. Dunnes Stores have vouchers. You get €10 off when you spend 50, and it's printed out at the bottom of your receipt. And then I also did have club card points, so I had €15 both of the weeks off the full cost. But the full cost of the first week was $76.44, but I paid $61.44 without my vouchers. And then the second week was €107, and I paid €92. As I said, both of those weeks I had €15 off. So obviously the best thing that they have going for them is those €10 off vouchers. So €10 off when you spend €50 is really good, and it definitely kind of keeps you in that loop and keeps dragging you back in there. And they have a great range of own branded products now. In my store in particular, it's kind of harder sometimes to find their own branded products. The big brands are there, so you'd have to kind of stand there and search for a little while, but eventually you will see that they do have their own branded product, and that is obviously way cheaper than buying the name product of that. But again, I find it as a negative, I find it harder to refuse the name brands there, because as I said, it is at face height to you, the name brands, and I'm just kind of like pulling you in, and there's special offers like, oh, this is on offer and this is on sale. Like, those things really stand out to me, and I end up putting it into my trolley when it's not even on the list that I brought. And then the final thing that I have there is that it's always busy. Every time I go in there, no matter what the time of day is, if I go first thing in the morning when it opens or last thing at night, it's always busy. And the queues are quite slow as well, the people doing the checkout. So that's kind of like the total opposite to Aldi. Aldi is like quick, and then Dunnes is all kind of like mellow and chilled, and we just take our time scanning your things, you know. So for me, a Dunnes would probably get 3.5 or a 4 out of 5. So that's everything. So I wanted to share with you kind of, I have graded everything on 4 categories, and I want to share that with you guys. So the 4 categories that I'm going to be assessing is location, customer service, the quality of the food, and the value. So I'm just going to be doing my top 3. So in the location, my top 1 is LIDL, because it's the closest, followed by Supervalu, followed by Dunnes Stores. And they're my top 3. Then in the customer service, so how friendly that their staff were, what the vibes I got off the staff, that sort of stuff. So number 1 was Supervalu, number 2 was LIDL, and number 3 was Dunnes Stores. For quality of food, went as so. Supervalu was number 1, Dunnes Stores was number 2, and Tesco's were number 3. And then for value comes in as Aldi number 1, LIDL number 2, and Supervalu number 3. So this is what I'm going to do going forward. I'm still a little bit conflicted on what I should do, but this is the way I'm going to do it for the next couple of weeks, and then I'm going to reassess again and maybe just change it. So basically I'm going to shop in 2 stores. I'm going to go to Lidl for the bulk of my shopping, followed then by Supervalu to get the stuff that I can't buy in Lidl. And for the next number of weeks, I'm going to just add it up and see how much I'm spending in both of those stores, and see if it's, as I said, in Supervalu I spent 62 and then 86. So if it's coming to like 70 every single week, I'm probably just going to switch to Supervalu and do all my shopping in Supervalu. I don't know. I'm still kind of conflicted on where I'm going to go. But anyways, for the next few weeks going forward, I'm going to do the bulk of my shopping in Lidl, then get everything I can't buy in Lidl in Supervalu. And that's how it's going to go. So I really hope that you guys have enjoyed it. I actually got some messages of people saying that they did the same in their area, and they've now switched stores because they found that they were paying way over the odds than they should be, because there was a cheaper, better store in their area. So if you have done this challenge along with me, I would love to hear from you and love to know how you get on. As I said, this is just my opinion. So yeah, I hope I haven't offended anybody, because I know an awful lot of people love Tesco's and ALDI, and that's fine. But for me, Lidl and Supervalu are the way that I'm going to be going for the next few weeks anyways, until we reassess it and see how that goes. So if you're interested in seeing those hauls, I'm going to be doing next week a grocery haul where I share with you my Lidl and Supervalu haul, but also during the midweek I also buy some stuff, and I just kind of do top up of like our fresh produce and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be including that in, just to share with you guys whether or not we're going over our €110 budget that I set every single week. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love if you subscribe here if you are new, and then if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye.